Accelerator system. And we're going to be getting started in just a minute. Before we do, as people are filing in here, I just want to make sure that I have your focus. Okay, I want you guys to just take a minute right now and close down all of your distractions. If you got Skype, you got Facebook open, you got any other social media, silence your cell phones for the next 40 minutes or so. Because I really want you to focus on what I'm about to share with you. Okay, so if you're serious about your business and taking your business to the next level, if you're serious about automating your lead gen and your sales, maybe you know what webinars are, maybe you know you've been on webinars before, but I've seen what this information has done to transform people's lives, and I want that same transformation for you as well. So that's why I need you to just have your focus for the next 40 minutes or so, and we're going to get started right now and not waste any more time. Alright, so let's get started and let's figure out if you're in the right place, shall we? Okay, so this presentation is geared for entrepreneurs and business owners who have a desire to share their message with more people. People who want to help others, help more people get more results. Okay, if you're making sales, which you should be making sales, right? But maybe you're doing a lot of done-for-you client work, one-on-one client work, okay? I can help you stop that with an automated sales generating machine and a lead generating machine, or maybe you want more done-for-you client work, okay? Ultimately, you're looking to get more freedom to work when and where you want, okay? This presentation is going to specifically help coaches, consultants, service providers, education professionals, and info marketers, okay? Now, the reason why we focus on those is because there is a method of congruency that we're going to talk about a little bit later, and why webinars are so great for this specific niche in the business world. I want to ask you a question, okay? What would it mean to you if you could add an extra $20,000, $50,000, or even $100,000 per month in sales without any additional overhead? Okay, what if you could do this without confusion and overwhelm of which tools, which software, which training to follow, which tools to use in your business to implement this type of growth? Guys, I want to show you something real quick, okay? This is a snapshot of my merchant account from May 1st to the end of July, okay? So about 2 to 3 months, okay? And you can see here, we did a total of $105,934 in revenue just processed through that one merchant account. That doesn't include any invoices that I would do for any of my private clients. But the reason why I showed this date range is because this was the launch of a brand new webinar sequence, webinar funnel that I had done, that I just launched for my own personal business. And within just a couple of short months, I mean, like, the momentum really picked up. You can see we're doing it consistent, you know, anywhere between $5,000 to $22,500 a day in new sales within the first 2 to 3 months. Okay, so I'm not showing that to you. I'm not showing this to you to brag. I want you to see the potential and results of what can happen for you if you implement a successful webinar system for your business. Now, you're going to be seeing a lot of big numbers today, and I'm not showing that to you to make any bold promises or guarantee that you're gonna replicate these results, right? No, I'm showing that to you because these are real results, and these are real results that I've gotten for myself and my clients. I just want to show you the potential. You still have to implement it, and we can talk about that later on. Here's my promise to you, okay? So my promise to you today is I'm going to show you how to leverage webinars to consistently attract more clients, more sales, and show you how to charge what you're actually worth, and how to help more people in your business every single month after month. And you're going to learn how to do this without a complicated, expensive funnel to build and manage, and you're going to learn how to easily add 5 to 6 figures per month to your bottom line so you can get the freedom that you deserve for your life, for your family, and for your business. And you're going to learn how to build a simple, repeatable automated system to consistently generate new leads and sales for your business so you can leverage your time, which is the one resource that we never get back. So speaking of time, right, what makes this different? Well, I want this presentation to be short and to the point for you because I know your time is valuable. Okay, so this is going to be a purely educational presentation with, at the end, you're going to have an option to speak with me or one of my business associates, one of my coaches, one-on-one, to see if you want my help to take your business to the next level with an automated webinar machine. Okay, sound good? All right, so let's start by asking you a few questions, okay? How many of you feel overwhelmed by all of the options for your business to make more sales and generate more leads? Okay, are you stuck working for clients who take up too much of your time? Okay, a lot of times this falls into the done for you category. Okay, do you lack consistent lead flow for your business, whether it's done for you or any other products or services that you offer? Okay, does it feel like you're pouring money down the drain with your paid advertising and marketing funnel? Do you feel like your income is limited, held back, throttled from its true potential, and you need to work more hours to earn more for your business? And have you ever felt like you're in feast or famine mode? 1 month, you've got a ton of new clients and revenue is skyrocketing, and the next month, it's crickets. You're flatlining and you're wondering what went wrong, what changed. Okay, maybe it's from referral marketing or word of mouth. Okay, but do you feel frustrated from other complicated marketing systems that flat out just don't work? Guys, I'm here to tell you that you are so much closer to breakthrough than you think. And if you feel like you've got an invisible barrier holding you back, I know exactly how you feel. In fact, I felt the same way not too long ago. So the problem is that you're too close to your own products, your own business, or your own services, and you're overanalyzing what actually to do. This happened to me about a year ago, where I was having success with my business. I was in feast or famine mode, and I just couldn't figure out how to get this thing to consistently generate new leads and new sales. So the way that I was able to break through that invisible barrier that keeps popping up every time you hit a plateau, right? The way that I'm able to consistently break through those invisible barriers is that I kept investing into myself and connecting with higher level minds that could see my business from the outside rather than me seeing it from the inside. Okay, so 5 to 10 minutes of advice from them has made me hundreds of thousands of dollars over and over again. And so my goal is to help you today realize your potential breakthrough for your business. So who am I, and why am I giving this presentation to you? So my name is Joel Irway, and I'm the owner of the Webinar Agency. And specifically, my company builds, runs, and manages webinars for clients who want to leverage a consistent lead and sales generation machine. And I'm best known as a webinar marketing expert that has leveraged multiple 7-figure growth for my private clients exclusively through webinars. Now, I'm also the exclusive webinar coach for Russell Brunson's private $25,000 mastermind clients. Now, the only reason why I bring that up is because Russell himself, if you don't know who he is a webinar expert. And in fact, last year alone, he sold over $10 million directly from webinars of his software product, ClickFunnels. Now, when he saw the type of success that I was having, he asked me to coach and consult his private clients to improve their webinars. And at the time, I said, absolutely. But I only say that because, guys, I know what I'm talking about when it comes to webinars. I've been running sales presentations online and offline for more than 7 years, which translates to literally hundreds, if not thousands, of presentations given, watched, and critiqued over that time span. In my previous life, I took a brand new sales territory from 0 to over $2 million per year by the age of 27, thanks to the types of presentations that I gave, which ranked me among the top salesmen in my company, who had already been established for between 10 and 20 years. Now, again, I'm not saying this to brag or boast. I'm telling you this because, quite frankly, you need to be able to trust me. I'm going to be sharing the exact simple business model that has transformed my clients' businesses in hopes of being able to transform yours as well so you can earn more while working less in your business. So, why do we get into business, okay? Well, you're seeing a picture of me and my wife here. This was taken probably a couple years ago. And the whole reason why I got into my own business was so I could have the more freedom, more flexibility to spend the time that I have, the limited amount of time that I have doing what I love. And for me, it's spending time with my family and doing things that make me happy, right? I wanted that flexibility. So a couple of weeks ago, this picture was taken, and we had just closed on our dream home in just north of Buffalo, New York. And so we're really, really excited. And so I was able to take time off, go do stuff with the house, and go prep the house and do all the things that need to happen with closing on a home. Now, this is a picture of my wife. This is the first day that we actually walked into our home, and as you can see, we were expecting our first child when I took this picture, right? So we had a lot of things happening, a lot of crazy things happening, but this is why we get into business, right? Is to be able to live life on our own terms and spend time with our families or spend time doing things that we love. But the problem is with your business, okay, you need a marketing system and your efforts need to work. So I took these two snapshots from the Content Marketing Institute, and so what it shows is on the left, it's showing the usage of different forms of content in our business marketing efforts. And as you can see, at the top, we've got social media content, e-newsletters, articles, and blogs, a lot of the common stuff that you see that you think that we need to do, right? All the way at the bottom, we see 61% of people use webinars and webcasts. Now, how effective are these forms of content? Well, if you take a look on the right, we see webinars right at the top, right? Which is just behind in-person live events. Now, assuming that you don't have time to run in-person live events every single day, the next best thing you can do is webinars, okay? They're at the top of the list of effective pieces of content for your business. So as you can see, there's a huge opportunity for growth and for engagement in your business with your customers if you leverage webinars. So what I want to talk to you today is what I call the 4 pivot laws of the 6 to 8 figure webinar accelerator business. Okay, so it comes down to 4 pivot laws. Pivot law number 1 is the law of exclusivity and authority, and how to position yourself and frame yourself as an expert, okay, as an authority who can charge what you're actually worth, and how we can leverage that with webinars. Pivot law number 2 is the law of simplicity. Webinar funnels are, I can't even stress how, like, the simplest digital marketing funnel that you can implement in your business. I'm going to go over the exact system in just a little bit. Pivot law number 3, the law of optimized and predictable results. And as you're going to find out, there's only 2 things that we need to look at to optimize our system and to optimize our webinar to make sure that we can get a predictable machine built. And pivot law number 4 is the law of automation. How do we continue to get this thing to consistently generate new leads, new sales for us, so we can get back our time? That's what we're going to be talking about today, so let's get right into the content. So before we get started, what we need to do is we need to understand this business model, because so many people who get into business just don't understand it. So what you're looking at right here are what I call the 3 tiers to a 6 and 8 figure webinar business model. Tier 1 is for, the smallest part of your market, right? The people who you serve that are willing to just get it done. They have more money than they do time, and they're willing to pay other people to help solve this problem or provide some form of pleasure, right? Because people pay to either remove a pain or to gain a pleasure, right? So if you serve just tier 1 of these high priced or these high value clients, this is easily a 6 to 7 figure per year business model potential. Now, tier 2 is when we start to productize and expand our reach, because tier 1 is probably going to require a little bit more of our personal time to serve them. Now, if we want to start to productize that, we can still be able to lower our price and serve a larger market, because now it's more affordable, right? So this is moderately priced and yet still semi-exclusive. And so when we stack on tier 2 and expand our reach with a lower priced product, now we can compound that on top of our tier 1 clients, and this now becomes a 7-figure per year potential. Once we get to tier 3, which is mass market and the lowest price product, now we've completely productized. We've gone away from like group coaching or semi-group coaching, which is tier 2, and now we've gone into just a straight product. Now this can be software, this can be membership sites, this can be $97 classes, whatever it is. But when you start to compound this on top of tier 2 and tier 1, now you've hit 7 to 8 figures per year potential. And all of this is completely possible within a simple webinar system. And that's what we're going to be talking about today. Now, I didn't create this, okay? I did not create that type of business model. Take a look at Tesla. Everybody knows Tesla, right? The electric car auto manufacturer. Elon Musk just published this master plan, his complete outline of what he wants to achieve with Tesla in the end of July in 2016. And what he said was, the first master plan that I wrote 10 years ago is now in the final stages of completion. And it wasn't all that complicated. It basically consisted of, step 1, create a low volume car, which would necessarily be expensive. Step number 2, use that money that he's earned to develop a medium volume car at a lower price. Step number 3, use that money to create an affordable, high-volume car and then ultimately provide solar power. Does that make sense, guys? He's doing the exact same thing that I just showed you. Okay, tier 1, serve the highest valued market who's willing to pay you the most so you get revenue coming in the door. Then use that money to invest into the lower price products and start going out to mass market down below, okay? This is the key to understanding the business model, and it's not anything that's new, okay? It's been in place for years. So let's talk about pivot law number 1. If we're going to serve tier 1, we need to understand how to achieve exclusivity and authority. And the common belief here is that when people get into business, they think that they need to serve the biggest market if they want to be successful. Well, as we've already talked about, that's not the case, okay? Most people start here at tier 3 and tier 2, and they try to serve the mass market and the semi-exclusive market. And what happens when people take that approach is they get completely burned out. And what they end up saying is they start to chase other people, saying, you guys need to buy my stuff. I've got such a great product. I've got a great service. Hey, everybody, buy my stuff. Well, the problem is that this is an excellent way to devalue yourself and crash and burn. Because when you're just entering a market or just trying to get new business for a new business venture, you're still trying to get market data, which is going to cost you time and money. It's going to cost you advertising. It's going to cost you market research. It's going to cost you a lot of time to just get this all done. You're spending more time servicing low-value customers and clients, which is going to cause frustration and headaches, and it's going to cost you even more time and money to service those types of people. And ultimately, you're going to be shelling out tons of money with a low chance of success. Now, I don't recommend that anybody do this unless you've got serious cash flow coming in from another business or from another revenue stream, and you can invest this at the bottom, right? The shift that you need to make is that you actually have something of high value people will pay you for if you're willing to charge enough. Okay, I want to say that again. You have something of high value that people will pay you for if you're willing to charge enough. Because that's one of the key things, guys. You have to charge a high price point or people aren't going to take you seriously. Don't undercut your services. Don't undercut your offer to that tier 1 client. Otherwise, they're not going to take you seriously. So when we start to flip that model, we learn that we can position yourself as an expert and get your clients great results, okay? You can charge what you're actually worth, and you can use that revenue to help refine your message to cover your initial expenses and still be profitable in the meantime. Only then you can start to productize the information and results you get your high-end clients. We go down to tier 2 and tier 3. So why do webinars work so well for this information industry, for this model, okay, for this industry? Well, it's true for a couple of reasons, right? Webinars are the fastest path to the sale, okay? It allows them to connect with you and allow you to get new clients in as little as 24 to 48 hours of them being first exposed to you. Okay, it's going to give you a platform to build you as an instant authority so you can charge what you're actually worth. It'll allow you to position yourself as an authority where new opportunities are attracted to you rather than you chasing or you seeking them out. And in the information industry where you're sharing your knowledge and your experience and your advice, it's a completely congruent method to connect with your audience because you're sharing information to educate and to build value and relationships with a webinar before you ever ask for any money from them. It's less technical management, and it's really fast to implement and to test, and it's the absolute fastest method to scale your business. And ultimately, we attract them by speaking towards their pains and desires as an authority. When you get an authority, when you get yourself to be in a position of authority, you can charge more money. It allows us to tell our story, to connect with the audience, to relate to the audience, and to position ourselves as a solution and attract them to our methods. So when you get this, you'll have the fastest client attraction system built in digital marketing from click to close in 48 hours or less. You'll immediately stop chasing your clients and chasing your next sale, and you'll have total control over time, money, and results. And it's going to allow you to learn how to attract those premium clients at a higher price point if you choose, or just plain more clients, whatever you want. So I want you to think about it, okay? 1 year ago, what did you think when you saw a Tesla, right? You probably thought, ooh, wow, like, it was a very exclusive car. They had a waiting list. It was, I think it was priced over $100,000. It was equivalent to, like the BMWs, and it was the next big thing. Everybody wanted a Tesla. Everybody wanted the Desire. Okay, now they've just announced that they're going to start releasing the lower volume cars. So they're building that anticipation. They're building that truck, or that want and desire for the lower price products. Now everybody wants to be able to associate themselves with those top tier one people, right? That's what I want for you. Now, common belief is that people think that webinars and this method is strictly and exclusively for business consultants, and it's not. My clients range from diabetic management to personal development coaching to relationship development to custom blanket designs, okay? Anything where you can specifically help someone achieve an end result, you can promote with a webinar and educate them on your system. And ultimately, you want to be charging between $2,000 to $20,000 price points when you do a webinar tier 1 system, depending on the market. All right, now pivot law number 2, the law of simplicity. So the common belief here is that people believe that you need a complex sales and marketing funnel to make a webinar work, to make your business work online. Well, the universal truth is people want results in the absolute fastest way possible, okay? And developing a complex system is going to overwhelm you, and it's going to just put a lot more irons in the fire than you actually need. Okay, how many of you get overwhelmed when you see something like this? Right? My hands raised as high in the air as it can possibly go, because I was sold this bill of goods. I was sold these types of complex marketing funnels and systems, saying I need to segment my audience, and I need to, do these behavioral dynamic responses to optimize my results, and yada, 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 and do these crazy product launch sequences, right? Guys, it's so unnecessary, so unnecessary. Because the scary truth is that the internet marketing industry has made millions selling systems that are intentionally overcomplicated, which is ultimately a crappy way to increase their perceived value, right? If they can sell you a complicated system, they can charge more because they're going to tell you that, hey, we've tested this, and it does this, and it does this, and we're going to package it all together for you. We're going to really, make your system hum. And it's just going to waste your time in the beginning. But you're probably thinking, Joel, how do I increase my attendance rate? How do I increase registrations? How do I get people to stay on until the end? And what are all the crazy email sequences that I need? And what happens if they don't stay until the end? Here's the reality, guys. Here's what has made our system work so well. Okay? Every single registrant gets the exact same emails. And yes, I've tried the crazy segmentation. I've tried the complicated marketing funnels for the webinar, and what produces the best results time and time again is the simplest system on the market. So stop overcomplicating. Okay, with your profitable webinar, there are only 2 things that you need to be worried about. Number 1, did they register or did they not? Okay? If they didn't register, we know we need to take a look at our ads and our landing page. That's fine. Number 2, did they take action or did they not? Okay, did they buy at the end of our webinar or did they apply to speak with us? Okay, if they didn't, then we need to start to take a look at our message. If you focus on these 2 things, just these 2 things, you will be profitable, guaranteed. And I have dozens of case studies to prove it. Okay? Because the reality is your audience doesn't want complicated, they just want results. Okay? Imagine if you were to go to imagine if you had a toothache, right? Like you just eaten something, or for whatever reason, maybe your mouth was infected and your mouth was throbbing. It's like, this is such a big pain. Like imagine what that feels like to have that throbbing pain. Okay? Now imagine if you called up a doctor's office and said, hey, I need to get this tooth removed. And they said, okay, well, first, what I'm going to need you to do is I'm going to send you this brochure, and I want you to read all about tooth pain, and I want you to read all about, the different options that we've got, and why tooth pain actually occurs, and when you're done, we're going to follow up with you in a couple of days, and then we're going to see if you're interested in scheduling an appointment to talk with us. And then after that, we're going to you're going to come in, we're going to give you a tour of the office, and then after that, then we can talk about removing that tooth pain. Guys, nobody wants that. When you've got that pain, you want that removed as quickly as possible, and you're willing to pay a lot of money to get that removed, okay? That's how we implement the webinar, okay? The webinar system is exactly as it's shown here. Step number 1, we have simple paid traffic ads, okay? And we'll test 1, maybe 2 variations, that's it, right? So we get that click to get them to come to our registration page, which is step 2, get them to register for the event. After they register for the event, they come to our webinar presentation, okay? Then they go through our 45 to 60 minute presentation, and at the end, they hit the sales page or the consultation page, and they either apply or they purchase our products, and it's a done deal, okay? From here to here, there's not a whole lot that's happening. From here to here, there's one simple email sequence that gets them to buy or not buy. That's all it is. It's a 48-hour, anywhere between 24 to 48 hours, you can get results from this system. When you start to understand this, you're going to be able to get instant feedback and results from your audience. So you can start to optimize and get that message dialed in to talk about what they want to hear. You'll eliminate technical overwhelm with complex funnels and systems. You'll start to generate consistent lead flow, and you'll realize how simple, direct, and effective a webinar funnel actually is. Does that make sense, guys? All right. So pivot law number 3, once we've started to establish that simple system, we need to establish the law of optimized and predictable results. And this is all about building and maintaining the machine, okay? The webinar sales machine. So how many of you have experienced this? 1 month you've got a flood of new clients, and the next month it's crickets, right? We talked about this a little bit earlier, right? You feel like you're on a roller coaster, right? It's like, great, business is awesome, I'm a successful entrepreneur, and I'm making a lot of money. Then all of a sudden you hit the drop, and it's like, oh man, 2 or 3 months or more, it's just like pulling teeth trying to get anyone to commit to signing up for my products or services. Well, the cause of that income roller coaster is that you don't have a system in place to give you predictable, repeatable results. Now, let me give you an example, okay? Your business is like the engine in your car, okay? Your car will give you a specified, predictable result of transportation. Now, in order for your engine to run, it needs to have only 2 things: the fuel and the throttle, right? The faster you want to go, the more you press on the throttle to give the engine more fuel. If you want to slow down, just ease up on the throttle and you slow down. However, your engine has performance metrics and guidelines to measure, like miles per gallon, and it's going to operate within a range depending on various conditions and factors that you can and can't control. But overall, you know a range of what to expect from your car's performance, right? You've got the city and highway miles per gallon, and it's all affected by temperature. It's affected by speed. It's affected by what's on the road. It's affected by the type of fuel you put in the car, okay? Some of these you can control, other factors you can't. But as long as we know that we are within the range, then ultimately our machine is operating at an acceptable level. So if for some reason we start dropping far below our indicated range, that's a signal that we need to take it in for service. Our miles per gallon in this example is what we call key performing indicators. Now, the key performing indicators is your roadmap and your blueprint and your guidelines for your business, for your marketing machine, your webinar funnel machine. Because without KPIs, you have no business and you have no machine. You have nothing to give you repeatable results, and you have nothing to keep you on track. So what are our webinar KPIs? Well, The first thing that we want to know is how much does it cost to acquire a customer, from paid traffic to getting them to actually sign up and purchase one of our products. Okay, so that is CAC. Now, then we want to figure out what the average order value is of a typical customer. Okay, when they purchase a product, what's the average cart value of all the products they purchase? So maybe they can take an upsell, or maybe they can add another product, right? So we want to know what that average order value is of the customer. Now, here's how we maintain profitability and can guarantee if a marketing system is going to be profitable. If our cost to acquire the customer is less than the average order value, then we are profitable. We cannot lose. It's physically impossible, right? So we're winning in our marketing funnel. This is all we care about. Everything else are just optimization metrics. But if we take a look at these two, we can have our miles per gallon comparable KPI metrics. So here are the minimums, the return on investments that we look at for our KPI minimums from ad spend on a webinar funnel. Right? If we're selling directly on a webinar, so we're selling some sort of product or membership site or software, whatever it is, we look for at least a 2-to-1 return on our investment from selling directly on a webinar. Now, if we're selling applications for consulting services, bare minimum, we're looking for 4-to-1 return on investment. And I've seen many a times where we're getting 10, 12, 15, 20-to-1 return on investment, depending on your price point and depending on other factors, right? But this is the baseline. This is where we need to get to, bare minimum. If we're below this KPI, then something is wrong, and we know that we need to look at it and take a peek under the hood, right? Now, how many of you would be willing to, build a system that's going to get you $2 back for every $1 that you put in, or $4 back for every $1 you put in? Bare minimum. Okay, it's way better than the stock market or anywhere else you can put your money. When you get this, you're going to stop freaking out over metrics that don't matter or that matter less, like your cost per lead. That doesn't matter. Your cost per click, it doesn't matter. Your click-through rate, your show-up rate, all that stuff, it matters very, very little, I should say. It's not that it doesn't matter, it matters very little. But these are the things that we freak out over. It's like, oh my goodness, my cost per lead is $10 or $15. It's like, well, what's your conversion? Like, what's it actually costing you to get somebody to convert? Okay, that's what we start to focus on. And when you understand this, when you get this, you'll start to understand your business like a machine. And you'll have predictability, stability, and peace of mind every single month. When you get this, you'll operate your business from a standpoint of leverage, okay? Because you know exactly what needs to be focused on to continue to optimize that webinar machine. And speaking of leverage, we move to pivot law number 4, which is the law of automation. Okay? So I want to ask you another question. What's the difference between those who make 6 figures a year and those who make 6 figures per month? Okay? Well, if you want to make 5, 6, or 7 figures per month, you need to leverage your time, and you need to leverage your time with automation, because time is the one resource that we never get back. And this is what makes you different from the people like Elon Musk. That makes us different from the people like Elon Musk and Steve Jobs and all of these super successful entrepreneurs who are making money in their sleep. Warren Buffett said, if you're not making money, if you don't ever learn how to make money in your sleep, then you're going to be working your entire life and you're going to get burned out. Okay? If you don't leverage your time, you'll feel burned out, stressed, overworked, and trapped inside your business. You'll start to hate your business and everything about it, regardless if you're making a ton of money or not, regardless of your income. And you're going to feel like this. Okay, it's not the ability to work hard that's important. I'm assuming that because you're a business owner, an entrepreneur, you already work hard. And you're on this webinar because you're looking for ways to improve your business. But ultimately, we're all capped by the one finite resource, time. So when you do automate and you do leverage your time, you'll be able to help more people that you serve and make a bigger difference. You'll have more time and financial freedom. You'll have more time to spend on your life or with your family. Okay, when you start to automate everything, this starts to happen. Okay, this is one of my clients where we did $105,000 in sales from a single webinar in just 7 days. And we just had a flood of new buyers coming in because we optimized the machine and we finally got it to work and we were able to automate the entire process. When you start to automate the entire process, this happens, and you start to get new high-ticket appointments or new lead generation appointments, and people booking on your calendar every single day, and your calendar is going to be full. You want to shut off the machine because you've got enough leads to satisfy your week. Go ahead, turn it off. No big deal. Because this is what ultimately you start to feel like. You become unchained. You break through. And you break through that invisible barrier, and you ultimately start to feel the freedom of winning back your time and the freedom of unleashing your business. This is super important, guys. Here's the automated process again, right? When we do our ads, it's a simple social media ad, which is just one ad coming on Facebook. Then we send them to a registration page and a thank you page, which is just 2 simple pages. And you can get them up and built in less than 10 minutes. Okay. Then you go through a 40 to a 60-minute webinar presentation that's going to be running 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and they're automatically going to be given the offer that you've got to either speak with you, apply with you, or purchase one of your products. Click to close. 24 to 48 hours or sooner. So what does this start to look like, right? Let's say you've got a $10,000 coaching on-demand webinar, right? Let's go through some metrics so you can start to really visualize what this is going to look like. So let's say we've got 100 people who registered for our webinar, and our average cost per lead is about $7. Total cost in ad spend is going to be $700. And with these on-demand webinars, it's not uncommon to see a 75% show-up rate. So we get 75 people who have watched our webinar. And let's say that turns into about 8 consultations, or about 10%, which is pretty typical. That will turn into 2 or 3 sales, which will generate $20,000 in new revenue, which turns into a $19,300 profit, or a 28.5 times ROI. Not bad, right? Well, let's say we want to ramp it up a little bit, okay? Let's spend $1,400 in ad spend, okay? So everything else is going to stay the same. We're just doubling our ad spend. Well, if we keep all of our other metrics the same, now we're going to have a profit of $38,600. Still a 28.5 times ROI. So now let's optimize our close. Let's try and get our consultations up from 10% to 20%. Maybe we'll do a couple of email follow-ups, or we'll tweak the message a little bit after we get some data. Still going to spend $1,400 in ad spend. Now we're going to get $60,000 in sales for a profit of $58,600. 42.8 times your ROI with an on-demand webinar. So let's say you're going down the tier ladder, right? Now you've taken your expertise and you've productized it into a course. So let's say we've got 100 registrants and we're able to get our cost per lead down to $5. So the ad spend is $500. Get a 20% show-up rate, 5% conversion rate. That's going to lead to 1 sale and revenue of $1,000, and our profit is going to be $500 on that one webinar. So now let's double our ad spend and keep everything else the same. So with that $1,000, we made $1,000 in profit. Okay, so our ROI is going to be the same. It's just increasing our ad spend. So now let's go ahead and work on our conversion rate. Let's try and double our conversion rate, tweak our message, tweak some parts of the funnel that we know we've been getting from our feedback of our previous registrants. Now we're able to double our conversion rate from 5% to 10%. And we get 4 sales instead of 2 sales based on that same $1,000 ad spend. That now gives us a revenue of $4,000 and a $3,000 profit. Not bad, right? Well, now it's time to scale. Okay, so let's boost our ad spend. We'll 5x our ad spend, and let's say we're able to double our conversion rate even more. Or let's say we're able to double our conversion rate, so we go from 10% to 20% after we do some more optimizing. Now, for every $5,000 that we put into the machine, we get $40,000 back out, and we start to profit $35,000 from this machine. So I don't want to just, throw these numbers out there and I don't want you to not believe me. So let me give you some real examples of when this has actually happened. Okay. Jason was one of my first clients, and here's what he said after we started tweaking his webinar message, and we actually increased his sales by 1,400% in less than 2 weeks. And he goes, Joel, we're going to do well over $1 million together this year. You crush and allow me to focus on the growth of the business. Thank you. Now, Jason was a really unique example because he had a webinar that was already selling, and he was profitable, right? But he just hired me to take a look at his webinar and to help optimize it, because that's my specialty, right? My specialty is the message behind the webinar, and we were able to just explode his results as quickly as possible. Then we've got Daryl and Andrew. Now, Daryl and Andrew are a really cool success story because, again, they had a webinar already built, and they said, Joel helped us increase our price from $197 to $997. So we 5x their price point, and we doubled our close rate at the exact same time. So they 10x their business, and we only spent 1 hour together. I went through their webinar, I gave them some critiques, and that's what happened. Okay, so let's recap. Okay, so today at the beginning of the webinar, or at the beginning of this presentation, I promised you I promised to show you how to leverage webinars to consistently attract more clients and sales, to how to leverage webinars to charge what you're actually worth, and how to help more people in your business every single month. Because I know that's a deep desire that a lot of us have. We want to spread our message to the world. We want to get that message out to help more people. I promised to show you how to do this without a complicated, expensive funnel to build, right? All it takes is 2 or 3 or 4 pages of simple pages that literally I can share with you and manage, and that's all it is, okay? Doesn't have to be super complicated. It's super complicated to build. It's very, very simple, okay? I promise to show you how to easily add 5 to 6 figures per month to your bottom line so you can get the freedom that you deserve for your life, your family, and your business. I showed you numbers of real live examples of what could possibly happen when you start to build your webinar and optimize your webinar and get it automated. Now, I also promised to show you how a simple, repeatable, automated system will allow you to consistently generate new leads and sales for your business so you can leverage your time, which is what we need to do if you never want to go crazy in your business. Okay? You only need a message to attract your dream clients, which is your webinar. You only need a simple funnel to manage, 3 to 4 pages max, and 1 email sequence. Okay, you only need to monitor 2 key performing metrics to stay profitable, and a simple automation system is all you need so you can leverage your time. This is what you need to earn more while working less. Does that make sense, everybody? Awesome. Now, I also promised you an opportunity at the beginning to speak with me and my team to explore the possibility of working one-on-one together to implement this for your business. So I'm going to take just a couple of minutes and explain what that looks like and how I can help you. So I've set aside some time in the next week to speak to you personally about how you can apply these strategies for your business. And it's either going to be me or one of my coaches speaking with you, but this is who it's specifically for, right? If we take a look at these 3 tiers again, here's who we can help. Now, if you've got a service that you can offer people and you've got something, but you don't have any products yet, okay, we want you to start at tier 1, okay? This is for service providers, consultants, or coaches, and you've got something that you can offer people and get them real results, okay? And you've got something to offer them right away. So we can help these people craft a webinar to attract leads into your business so you can close them at high ticket, high valued prices so you can become profitable immediately. Or this is for people who already are doing this. They're already at tier 1. They've got clients coming in the door and they're looking to productize this. So they've got a product that they need to sell at this, medium price point. Maybe it's group coaching, maybe it's an info product or an e-course or something. And you need to learn how to build a webinar to sell that product. Okay, we can work with you, but we need to make sure that you actually have revenue coming in the door up at tier 1, because it's going to take some testing, it's going to take some tweaking to get this webinar to actually work, right? So we don't want to work with anybody who doesn't have revenue coming in the door from tier 1 if they're ready to hit tier 2. And the same thing goes for tier 3. Now, maybe you've got a webinar and you just need to have it optimized, right? I can work with you too. Okay, I already showed you a couple of clients where I took their existing webinar and we exploded their results. So if you have an existing webinar, but it's not performing as well as you'd like, this is also for you. But these are the three tiers that we work with, right? The high price clients who need to generate applications for, $2,000, $5,000, or $10,000 price points. We can help you craft that webinar, and build that automated lead generation system. Or we can help you start to productize your services in tier 2 or tier 3. That's assuming you've already got revenue coming in the door for tier 1. So we can take some of that revenue, put it towards ad spend, and start to optimize our results. Now, why am I doing this? Well, I want to get dialed into your business and your goals and get clear where it is you are right now and where you want to be. And I ultimately want to help you get clarity and focused on how to reach that goal fast. And on this call, you're going to get an exact strategy to make that happen. Okay, so if you want my help and we think it's a good fit, we may invite you to become one of our new clients that we take on. So here's how it works. Okay, if we work together, we will walk you through the program that is designed to get you to the automated sales and lead flow with maximum time freedom. Okay, we want to get you to a bare minimum of $50,000 per month and beyond. And we'll expect you to start getting new sales within the first 2 weeks. It's completely possible, okay? Now, who you're going to be speaking with, I already mentioned this before. You're going to be speaking with either myself or one of my accelerator coaches who have been through this process, so we can guide you on the call. Now, we book these meetings out weeks in advance, and we do have limited availability, so I highly encourage that if this is a pain that you're seriously struggling with right now, and you need to have this solved, you need to get leads, you need to get some consistent leads, and you are serious about building a system, then go ahead and schedule a call. So there should be a button appearing to register to speak with us and to book a time slot on our calendar, or you can head to thewebinaragency.com/apply. And I want you to seriously consider this, because there are certain pivot points in everyone's life, in everyone's professional life, in their business life, where you're required to make a decision, okay? This is one of those pivot points. This is one of those decision points, okay? You've been on my webinar, okay? You've been on this presentation. You've heard what I've had to say. Either you believe me or not. It's up to you. I can't make that decision for you. But you know that other people are having success, and serious success, with webinars. And I'm assuming that because you're on this presentation now, you want to get back more of your time, and you want to enjoy your life, and you want to really achieve what you've ultimately set out to do for your business, which is to get this thing to ultimately allow you to live the life of your dreams, okay? So if that's you, I want to encourage you to go ahead and click through, go to thewebinaragency.com/apply, and book a slot on our calendar. After you book a slot on our calendar, you will be directed to complete a short application, which I want you to take your time with, okay? We have lots of people who apply to these programs, and not everybody is accepted. This is no scarcity factor, but we get a lot of people who apply, and they've got like a $10 ebook or a $50 affiliate product that they want to sell. That is not who this is designed for. Okay, this is, if you don't have a product that's worth $500 and you don't have revenue coming in the door to help put towards ad spend to sell that $500 or $1,000 product, or if you don't have a service that is going to solve a pain that's worthy of a $2,000, $3,000, $5,000 or $10,000 price point, okay, this is not for you. This is for people who are serious about their business and who are serious about working with somebody who will guarantee their success, who will work with them side by side to implement an automated webinar machine. Get their message dialed in, get leads coming in the door immediately, and get them to start closing new sales on autopilot. So right now you have two choices, and option number one for you is you can decide to do nothing, to go it alone, and if you are on a path for success, you are on a path to grow your business from, $10,000 a month or whatever you're at right now to $50,000 or $100,000 a month, then you might choose to try and hack other people's webinars and hack other people's marketing systems, and most likely you are somebody who values your money more than you value your time. Now, what do I mean by that? People who value their money more than they value their time are always looking for a good deal. They're looking for a cheap option, a less expensive option, because they have this scarcity that they feel that money will never replenish, and they feel that they can never get their money back, or they're just way too protective over their money, and they're willing to sacrifice their time in order to be able to get that end result. And if that's you, I wish you the best of luck. People have succeeded that way. I'm not saying it doesn't work, but that's just not the people that we are looking to work with. And so I'm going to warn you that it will take a lot of time. It will take a lot of trial and error in getting your marketing message dialed in correctly, getting your webinar message dialed in correctly, and getting the whole system pieced together so it's working like a fine-tuned machine. Or you can choose option number 2, which is you choose to work with me to implement your system with you. Somebody who's done it many times before, who's got this system dialed in, who knows how to hit the key trigger points to get your prospects to take action. And you can work with someone who can take your business from that $10,000 per month level or whatever you're at right now and generate $50,000 a month, $100,000 a month. They're there to work with you and to help you implement that system with as little risk possible. So we help you save time and money in the process, because with trying to hack other people's webinars, you really have no idea what angle they're trying to get at, and you have no idea if they're actually successful with their marketing messages and with those webinars and with whatever they're trying to do, right? But when you choose to work with somebody who's been there before, who has already made the mistakes, you get to save time and headache and money in the process. You get to reap the benefits of being able to scale your business as quickly as possible. So if you're somebody who's more aligned with option number 2 and you value your time, then I encourage you to go ahead and go to thewebinaragency.com/apply or click the button that's appearing now and schedule your strategy session with either myself or one of my coaches, and let us help you map out a plan to get to this end goal. Get to this end goal of getting you to whatever your end goal is, $50,000 a month, $75,000 a month, $100,000 a month. Maybe you're even just happy at $30,000 a month. But let us help you map out that system for you and figure out if this is a good fit or not. There's no obligation on this call. This call is specifically designed to help you get crystal clear on your end result, on your goal, and if it makes sense, we may invite you to join one of our programs, and this decision should not be taken lightly. So I encourage you to click the button down below, and I look forward to speaking with you, and I look forward to working with you and specifically helping you scale your business and get back your freedom that you started this journey to begin with. Take care, and I want to thank you for attending this workshop. I've enjoyed helping you and giving you this map, giving you this outline, and I look forward to speaking with you in the very near future.